everybody, welcome back to the channel. What we're going to do today is a couple of things. I'm going to make several videos, and I'm not going to do it all in one video, so I'll split it over several. But I'm going to carry out a rear shock replacement. I've got a nice Bitubo rear shock absorber to fit to this bike in place of the stock original. I'm also going to replace the front brakes with some Brembo Monoblocks, which have been taken from a 2017 GSX-R 750. So that'd be a nice upgrade to the stock items on this bike. And then also I'm going to fit some track bodywork, because this bike's being fully track converted, taken off the road and used for track days. So yeah, let's crack on. First thing I'm going to do is the shock absorber. So I need to get it up on the stand, and let's get on with it. Okay, here's the shock absorber that we're going to be fitting in place. It's a Bitubo shock. As you can see, it's second hand. The spring looks a bit scabby, but it won't affect the operation, or it shouldn't do. Should be a direct fit. The only thing I need to do is obviously drop the original out, and the top linkage needs to be fitted from the original onto this, but the bottom should be straight fit. As you can see, this is a fully adjustable shock, which is far superior to the one that comes stock on the bike. So let's get on with it. Okay, so in order to get the shock out, what we're going to do, we need to obviously remove the bottom mount and the top mount. In order to get to the bottom mount, the lower belly pan needs to come out, and to get to the top mount, we need to take the seat off so we can see the top of the shock mounting. As you can see, the rear wheel is just off the floor. It doesn't need to be that high. All I need to be able to do is take the weight off the swing arm when I want to pull the bolts out of the bottom of the shock. But what we'll do, we'll start by removing the seat and the belly pan, and then hopefully we'll have decent access to the mountings. So let's get on with it. Okay, so now all that plastic's out of the way, we can get to the bolts holding the seat on. One thing I always say about this bike, just to be able to get to the battery, you have to take all of this off. And there we are, seat removed. Okay, the next thing that's got to come off in order to access the shock is the fuel tank. Now the fuel tank's coming off anyway, because as part of the track prep, we've got another fuel tank to go on. We want to keep this one looking reasonably nice, just in case he ever wants to put it back to road trim. So yeah, next thing, fuel tank. Looks like somebody's had a bit of a ham-fisted go at them. Okay, so now the fuel tank's free to come up. There's still fuel in it. so I don't want to lose any, so let's pull the breather out the way. Disconnect the fuel line. Just a little plastic clip that goes around. Come on. There we go. And then the fuel level sender. And the wire into the fuel pump. Okay, now what we need to do is remove the bolt at the back. And then that's the fuel tank off. There we are, fuel tank out of the way. Okay then, so if we pull all of this bird's nest of wiring out of the way, the hoses for the Scott oiler and all that junk, and then pull this bit of foam out the way. That is the top mount for the shock absorber. So what we need to do, remove the cotter pin or split pin or whatever it is you want to call it, and then we can crack that off, and then look at the bottom nut. Split pin out. Right, let's get the nut cracked off. Okay, this top nut will be tight, but not overly tight. It's about 59 Newton meters, I think. There we go. What I'm going to do, loosen it off. I'm not taking it all the way out just yet. That'll do for the moment. And as you can see now, we're almost there. So what I'm going to do next is take off the belly pan, and then that'll give me access to the bolts on the lower suspension linkage, and then we'll be pretty much at a point where we can pull the shock absorber out. This is the bolt at the bottom. This is the one we need to undo, and then we can pretty much get the shock absorber out. So we'll crack that one off. That again, that's not that tight. It's only 39 Newton meters, and then yeah, and then it's pretty much free to come out. Now what we'll do, we'll take the top nut out, top nut, and then what we'll do now is lift the bike up, and then we should be able to move the swing arm down, pull the shock arm out. On second thoughts, I think what we'll do is we'll take that top nut off as well. And that should give us a bit more room to manoeuvre. dog bones out. And there we are. Finally, we had to remove a little bit more than I initially anticipated, but it was only the dog bones on the suspension linkage, and then the truck was out. So there we are. Next, let's have a look at putting the replacement one in the bike. Okay, so let's get that back. A little spacer, right? Obviously that mounts on top of there like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that loosely in there, back in its position. Put the nut on top, just like that. Then I'm going to feed the shock absorber in. Like so. And there's the top bolt. Okay, so let's assemble everything loosely, and then what I'll do after, I'll go around, check all the fasteners, make sure they're all torqued up to spec where they're supposed to be, and then we can call it a job. Okay, so let's get the dog bones in. Lower bolt. This is why it's handy to keep everything loose until you got everything in, because then you get a little bit of lateral movement, which allows you to get everything in without too much difficulty. Okay, so that is literally everything assembled to the bike. All I've got to do now is go around and tighten everything up, torque everything up, and then we can call that a job. Looks pretty trick, doesn't it? Obviously you've got a remote preload adjuster here. It's massively over-engineered compared to the Kawasaki item. I mean, it even looks nicer. You've got rebound, compression, damping, all the good stuff here. Yeah, it's a nice bit of kit, that. Obviously being second hand, he got it at a reasonably good price as well, so he's happy, everybody's happy. The seller was happy as well, apparently. So yeah, let's get it all tightened up and torqued up to spec. And 59. There. It's everything torqued up. looking nice. It's a nice trick bit of kit, that. Right, one last thing to do before I reassemble the back end and put all the plastics back on is just put another split pin through there, and then that's a job. I'm not going to put all the plastics in the tank back on right now though, because obviously I'm going to, as I said earlier, convert this into a track bike, so I need to put all the track bodywork back on. But we can call it a wrap on the shock absorber install anyway. So split pin, and then we're done. Various split pins. Just got to find one that's the right size for this job. That looks pretty promising. No, actually, let's find a bigger one. It's a bit small. That one looks better. Yeah, perfect. And there we are. That's the job. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give me a like and remember to subscribe. See you again soon. Bye bye.